So the last thing is the bone microanatomy. Peri means around. When we say like ostium, we're referring to bone. So if we say peri, that means around, so it's around the bone. So the periosteum, that's what this layer is right here. So you have the periosteum, and then you have two main types of bone. So you have a compact bone, which is here, and then you have the spongy bone, which is seen here. So the fundamental unit of bone is what's known as an osteon. So if you look at the compact bone, you'll see these little circles. So you see those circles right there? So that's what's known as the osteon. That's the fundamental unit. So the periosteum, what that's composed of is dense irregular connective tissue. So you have dense irregular connective tissue, and then these little blue perforating fibers here, that's what they're called. These perforating fibers, they're composed of collagen. Okay, so that's what's kind of like, think of it kind of like spider webs. It's kind of like anchoring it here to the compact bone. The osteon up, and you can see like all of the different layers. It kind of looks like a wedding cake. These little spider-like structures here, that's what's known as the lacunae. So what sits inside the lacunae, that's the osteocytes. So osteo is bone, cyte is cell. So the osteocytes are found in there. If you can see like all these like individual portions here, these are what's known as the lamella. So you have the lamella, and then the little lines that are in between them, those are the collagen fibers that are keeping them all together. So here in the middle, this is what's known as, so the central canal. So the central canal is found here, and that's where the blood vessels and nerves also pass through there. This is what's known as the perforating canals. So the perforating canals, that's what leads to the central canal. What's in between each of these osteon is what's known as the interstitial lamella. So this is I already said earlier that this is the spongy bone, and we learned what the periosteum was here on the outside, but then the endosteum is this part that's covering the spongy bone. And the endosteum is also found here in the middle, like where the central canal is. What's here in red, what's in between all of the spongy bone, this is the red bone marrow. And so the process that occurs within the red bone marrow is hematopoiesis, so that's the production of red blood cells. How do we get the formation of osteocytes, and then what is the composition of bone? So bone is primarily composed of the calcium phosphate salts, and there's also collagen fibers. To get the mature form of bone, what happens is the osteoblast, that's what develops into osteocytes. So these osteoblasts, they'll secrete the collagen, and they'll secrete all the calcium phosphate crystals. Once they're done like secreting everything and they're kind of like trapped in that area, they get stuck there. And so that's when they develop into what's known as an osteocyte. These individual lines right here coming up, this is what's known as the circumferential lamella. So that's what's going up here on the outside of the bone that's next to the periosteum.